Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We are going back to that horrible world known as the JRC. But before we do the usual disclaimers, folks, it is Easter Sunday when I am doing this video right now. And I had a chance to VTO out for the first couple of hours and took it, in spite of that mother of God send help. It's literally stress inducing to deal with the level of stupid I had to deal with today. But there's no place to put the code in. You put it in the cart. But I don't see it. Motherfucker people, use your damn eyes. It takes all of 2 seconds to scroll down a screen. Because I've had back to back of it. I understand that the internet is harder for some of the older generation. I understand that. But before you go calling busy lines, if you're having trouble finding something, before you hit that dial button, for the love of God, scroll down the page. All right, sorry, folks, but I had to let that out because, God. All right. If you're unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, you're going to find all the pertinent links right there in the description box. Please make sure to take note of the article written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics. In it, they interviewed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so-called behavior modification program. The Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read that article so much. They threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit. They did not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic refused, so you know the drill, folks. Please read the article. Share it on all your social media. Also in there included is NeuroClastic's public statement regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding just in case the JRC ever does actually see through with their threat. Trigger warning 1, where we discuss places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center and Agape Boarding School for Boys. You're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please make sure to use the headphones, all right? Trigger warning 2, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We very obviously use profanity on occasion, and we do speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and they're watching this, very obviously parental supervision is advised. So we're going on to the next comment, folks. One comment states that the pseudotectonic sit-down reported in one article and described as an adverse event by the FDA was an act of self-restraint and was an improvement over previous behaviors. For fuck's sake. Are you literally telling me that that neurodivergent individual who is engaging in a version of self-harm because of the psychotic crap that this place puts them through, and they're calling it an improvement over previous behaviors? How sadistic of a piece of shit do you have to be to see someone going through so much goddamn trauma that they are literally self-harming because of the crap the JRC is putting them through? And then they're going to come out and say, but it's an improvement over previous behaviors. If there is ever a more clear indication on planet Earth that these individuals, not just the JRC, but even the larger medical model, if ever you needed proof when we tell you that they hate us, and they don't just hate us, they want us to hate ourselves. And they want us to hate ourselves to such an extent that we will mask and fake being normal 24/7. Okay? This is insane. Okay? If your child is taken to a care center and what that care center is doing to your child is literally so traumatic that they're engaging in a version of self harm that they didn't even do previously before being stuck there. And that place is saying that it's an improvement over previous behaviors. There's really only one conclusion I can come to, folks. It's that they are actually happy when they can get us to hate ourselves to that point. That they would rather have us self harm ourselves because of self hatred than simply having that be a part of our diagnosis. That's fucked up. It's also straightforward as it comes. At least it's honest. It's a hell of a lot more honest than all the other crap that they throw around. But if you want to get on to me, please don't, because I'm right. I know that sounds pretty damn arrogant, but this is coming from lived experience as well as the experience of an individual who has worked in these fields and has dealt with parents and schools like this for decades on end. The whole idea regards to ABA is literally to condition a person into what you want them to be. It is literally trying to control someone else to the point that your kid's masking all the time. Okay? They want us to hate ourselves because then they can break us down and build us into their fantasized fan fiction version of normal. Okay? That's what it's all about. They want us to hate ourselves so that we will mask 24/7. Because, quite frankly, they don't care if it exhausts us. They don't care if it takes a psychological toll. They don't care that it takes a psychological toll for us to wear those masks, and nor do they care that how sinister it actually is to get ourselves to hate ourselves to the point that we will go and exhaust ourselves wearing masks. Many of us burning out at earlier and earlier and earlier ages all the time. Okay? These are individuals who are so disturbed by our very existence, regardless of where we are on the spectrum, that this whole concept, we got to get you to hate yourself. We got to get you to believe that the only way that you deserve to be treated with human rights, dignity, and respect is if your mask is good enough. You see where I'm obviously going here, right? I'm making a bigger point than just pointing fingers at the JRC, because even though the other folks that I am mentioning does what we would call, but it is a softer, kinder ABA. Softer and kinder ABA, folks, is simply a removal of all physical adversives. All the psychological mindfucks are still embedded in it, such as silence greeting the screaming of a child, because but you got to learn to use your words. To use an analogy, the same one again. If you're up in the middle of the night, you need to get a drink of water. You got a sharp coffee table edge and you ram your leg into it. Tell me, are you going to be able to be calm enough to use your words? Or are some choice explicitives going to come flying out your mouth? Because I know which one it's going to be. Okay? It's this idea to drive us to a point to that we will not complain when we have to mask all the time. The best way to get us not to complain about it is to drill this self hatred in and start early. Okay? To make you believe that you have to jump through all these hoops in order to be deserving of the things that you should be already given. Okay? There is a real psychological toll to forcing individuals to pretend to be someone they're not every single time they exit their door. Some of us don't even get that luxury. We are forced to stay there with our parents, parents who have been trained to force us to mask 24/7 in their presence too. Those poor folks get zero breaks. Imagine the psychological toll of all of that. See, the problem isn't just the JRC, it is the very base beliefs that is a part of the current autism treatment programs. The reason why so many of us pushed for person centered planning is because the current model is literally catering not to the patient, but to neurotypicals. And I've said it before on this channel. Essentially, this is all a form of treatment in order to make us neurotypical enough, because no matter how good our masks are, it's like an energy. I don't know, but they can tell. You see what I'm saying, right? It is not geared to actually helping us and helping us prosper as our authentic selves, nor do they even encourage us to embrace our neurodivergent selves. It is a way to teach us how to mask and how to mask essentially indefinitely if they had their way. There's a reason why the suicide rate amongst adult autistics in particular is so damn high. It's because any treatment program in regards to us outside of the person centered planning model is geared to force us to behave normal enough so that neurotypicals will deign to have us in their presence. And if it sounds like I got a chip on my shoulder, you bet your ass I do. Because I've seen it in official capacity, folks. Look at those treatment programs. Does any of that look like it's going to be encouraging me from to embrace my inner autistic? Because if you think it does, I got some fantastic beachfront ocean view property in Kansas I can sell you for $1. We're going to close on that, folks. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few we do tend to get removed from time to time. You know the drill, folks. Please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I appreciate your time. And as always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. I'll see you again in a few minutes.